to see the screen now. Oh, yes. Got it. Okay. So there are 3 points for our discussion right now. The first one is I'm gonna discuss about project orienteering,
Mm-hmm.
and then its elementary version, which is storytelling, and lastly, it's going to be the pathway English. So I'll start first with project orienteering. So project orienteering is like trying to find. Imagine, imagine you are lost in a very vast place,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know where you are. What you only have is like a compass, and for you to get to your destination, you only have to rely to your compass. Now, how do I relate that one to here? Is let's say for example the student has a topic. The topic is like the destination, and for the student to get to the point of the topic or the heart of the topic, you have to ask different kind of questions for the students to get to the heart of the topic, or rather the solution of the topic, because every kind of topic there's always a problem, and whenever there is a problem there's always a solution. Now, project orienteering has like many kind of steps, so I'll just open one step here. I'll just open one sample here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we've been doing project orienteering since last September, I think September, August, with other teachers here before you came here. But nonetheless, let me show you how this one works. As you can see, these are some of the methodologies when it comes to project orienteering. Now, don't get overwhelmed. I'll try to explain this one step by step. And it doesn't necessarily mean that uh, you have to do everything that's written here. As long as you just follow, as long as the teacher can do the steps in a different way, although you can follow it same as this one, that's totally fine. So I would like to start first with the topic itself. Let's see. Oh wait, sorry. I would like to start first with knowing your student first. So knowing your student is actually very important. I'm sure you apply this one on your first student. I'm pretty sure you have a student now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like knowing them, what what are the things that they need to improve on and things like that. So I think we'll skip on this one. So this five here, as you can see, is like the five foundations when it comes to speaking. And me and Cerberus always discuss about this one. And we call this one, the first one is narration, how the student can narrate things. Second one is description, like adjectives, adverbs, how the student can create sentences with very, well, using adjectives or adverbs.
Mm-hmm.
Third one is explanatory, where the students can explain what they are saying as to why.
Mm-hmm.
Fourth one is logical, and last one is rhetoric. Rhetoric is like a bigger word for the word persuasive, like their persuasive power. Uh, that's pretty much it, like the five foundations when it comes to speaking. And I'll try to not delve into it so we can skip to the step itself, which is hashtag words. So hashtag words is like words that is related to the topic itself. Let's say the topic is about making friends making friends outside. That's your topic for today. Uh, when it comes to that topic, of course, there's like underlying problem. How do you make friends or things like that? And the student has to provide a solution. But in most cases, students are not able to express themselves, especially adults who are still learning English. And that is where hashtag keywords come in. It's the same as providing them vocabulary, at the same time, utilizing it throughout the orienteering itself. Now, you can actually create hashtag keywords based from your preference, or you can also ask different chat GPT in creating keywords itself. Okay, like for example, my topic here is about socializing. So I asked ChatGPT to give me some very simple words related to socializing. Now sometimes ChatGPT tend to overcomplicate things. So that is where you try to say ChatGPT, hey, give me more simpler words in layman's term. Okay. So that's about it. Hashtag. Next one is about using visual language. Visual language is like applicable to, well, of course, beginner, where you show them the relationship of each words at the same time. You try to let them speak the language itself, or rather the word, rather vocabulary. Now, this picture here is actually not related to the first one, but my point is, you try to connect the words on how they relate to each other. Like for example, the topic, let's just say for example the topic is about transportation, and these are some of your hashtag words included in the first step. Oh, before I forget, it really depends on the teacher on how many hashtag keywords you can give to the student. If you want to, well, really practice the student, then you can go ahead with 10 hashtag keywords. If you think he's a total beginner and with little to zero speaking ability when it comes to English, then you can go ahead and go with 5. So nonetheless, you can go ahead and show the student how each word connects to each other. For example, transport connects to air transport, land transport, and things like that. Okay. So the fourth one is not this. This one is not necessarily the, how should I say this? Um, the step, but it's more like asking the student the right questions itself for them to narrate. Do you have like a niece or a little sister who is so talkative?
No.
No, but do you know someone, a child who is about 3 or 4 years old, who is very talkative, who speaks English? Yes. How do you? Why do you think? Why do you think students like them are able to speak a lot, although they don't have any idea about grammar?
Mm, First modeling, like from what they watch,
Mm.
and then because they ask questions.
They ask questions. Do you think it's possible for them to improve their English speaking? I mean, English speaking ability if you also ask them the right questions, like why questions, of course. And that's the reason why those kind of children are able to say a lot of things, or rather storytell, or rather narrate things. So asking the right questions. So that's about it for step 4 in a nutshell. So step 5 is visualization. Of course, when it comes to learning English, it's not all about reading words. We have to incorporate visualization also. But of course, we have to make sure that the picture we show are authentic. And what I mean by authentic is, let's say for example, your student is an adult. You can't be really showing enough too much cartoonish or drawing pictures. That is not really authentic. What I mean by authentic is like real life pictures. Like for example, socializing. Then there's the people here going to church. and taken using camera, something you can find in Google, and then you can actually explain to the students. Now, there is one problem when it comes to sharing your discussing about a picture. Sometimes the picture is too big, and teachers tend to, okay, what can you say about the picture? Then the student will try to will get confused on what he or she will talk about. For that one, the teacher can just what do you think?
I think for especially for beginners,
Mm-hmm.
uh, choose a less complicated picture that's
Mm-hmm.
not too uh, sort of loud in the
Mm-hmm.
sense that there are not too many elements for them to describe so that they can focus on just one or two things.
Good point. So basically, you're trying to say is you can also show a picture and try to be specific on what
Mm-hmm.
they should be talking about. Yeah, correct. And this is what I'm talking about. This one is actually called. This one is actually called. Let me just change this one. That way English. As you can see here, we have like this is like a sentence, but the sentence itself is broken down
Mm,
into, let's just say, bits and placed in a manner where it is being talked about in the picture, or rather, where the images in the picture is located.
mm-hmm.
So this is actually a sentence, but I actually forgot to put it. A group of workers has set fire to a barricade to protest. To protest. So a group, there's
Mm-hmm.
that's like two or more people. Then the word a group is put here in front of two or more people. For precision, workers here also has set fire. There's the fire to a barricade to protest. So that is what pathway English is about. Um, the problem with some of the sentences, I mean, whenever we give sentences to students, is although we there's a sentence there and there's a picture there, sometimes students are very specific of what we are talking about. I mean, yeah, we understand that teachers are there to guide them of what is happening in the picture, but it also helps a lot if the teacher can tell what is going on in the picture, but as well as providing an arrow of
Mm-hmm.
what specifically is happening in the picture itself. So it's pretty much straightforward, and it's also a good practice to help the students understand the picture better. Now, arrow English can be done in two things, but I'll discuss that one later. So, consult one abstract. I'll skip that one. Okay, here, describing what happened. So, continuing on with the topic itself, you can actually ask the student what is happening with the picture itself, like what I mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, number seven is expressing action, feeling, or reason. Like, okay, so what did the students feel after seeing the picture? Then they can express themselves. Are you familiar with? Have you ever seen some? I mean, do you have a friend who had like a bad day, or yeah, like a bad day, and he or she keeps babbling about what happened that bad day?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's actually linked to emotion. The more emotion a person feels in regards to any kind of things, the more he speaks about it. So that is what I mean by this one. If the students can relate the picture to themselves and then reflect their emotion about it, then it gives them more confidence to speak what they think. Now the problem is what the students is a very is how should I say this? Like I said, a beginner who has little to no English skills,
Mm-hmm.
English speaking skills, then it's actually up to the teacher on how he or she can help the students. He or she can use any kind of AI tools
Mm-hmm.
to help the students express themselves, or how should I say this? Provide them simple words.
Mm-hmm.
Have you experienced those kind of students before?
Yeah.
What did you do to that during that time?
Actually, with my current students,
Mm,
of course, it's hard for them because of the language barrier, and
mm,
it can get quite frustrating when they can't find the words that
mm.
they want to say.
Oh,
But like, what I try to do is because sight words are really helpful, right? So I let them draw what they feel. So they draw a face like an
yes. Okay.
emoticon. So
Mm.
yeah, and then when I tell them the word, they practice to use it.
All right. Okay, cool. So that's actually a good thing, like having
Mm-hmm.
the students draw what they feel or what they think about, and then try to construct simple sentences, and then slowly, little by little, they can extend those sentences into one or two, and then three
Mm-hmm.
as they progress. Okay. So when the student has been doing this one for quite a time now, and you see some improvements, and now that's the time we correct their pronunciation and grammar.
Mm-hmm.
Because going back to what, by the way, I think it's too hot. Let me just open the air conditioner.
Oh,
Or
okay.
are you fine with that?
I'm fine.
Okay. So going back to the one I'm talking about, we've been talking about, which is little children who can speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they, like I said, sometimes or always they don't have any sense of what is grammar is about or the technicalities for
Mm-hmm.
grammar. But most of the time or sometimes they can speak almost perfect grammar, and that's actually really amazing. Now, me and Sir Bruce have always thought that speaking first, and then once the student is confident enough, then they can start learning the technicalities of the grammar,
Mm-hmm.
and that is why I actually put it on the last part. And then, of course, this is the last two, which is explaining the reason for the answer. Like if this, let's just say this one is actually applicable for students who are able to somehow express themselves. Okay, like they can explain
Mm-hmm.
their answer in a reasonable way and also provide proper reasoning. Remember what I've told you? Narrative, descriptive,
Mm-hmm.
explanation is actually in the third part,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course last one is retelling the story, or rather the summary. Like all the things that you've talked about, the student will try to critically think of how should I say this? Wait. Summarize what you've talked about,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course provide a solution to the topic itself. Like because, like I said, although the topic may sound like it doesn't have any problem,
Mm-hmm.
there's always a problem in that topic. Like for example, socializing friends. How can you, how can you uh, well socialize in a fun way? Things like
Mm-hmm.
that. And it's really up to us to create those kind of problems so that so it actually helps the student think actually related to thinking critically in relation to the topic. So that's about it for project orienting. So we'll go on with the next lesson later.
Okay. Mhm.
Oh, sure. Okay. How do I close this one?